Hi there! Welcome back to Level Up Your Russian. Today I want to share with you 10 tips on how to improve your Russian accent. Let's get started. Tip number 1. Use your lips more. If you want to improve your Russian pronunciation, you need to realize that the position of your lips when you speak Russian needs to be different from what you're used to. The Russian language is a language which makes you use your lips more. In order to sound like a Russian, try to protrude your lips when you speak. Imitate the way Russian native speakers move their lips and position their tongues when they speak. You will notice that it is very different from the habits of English speakers. Learning the correct mouth position is the biggest factor in improving your pronunciation. To create the right sounds, the usual positions of your organs of speech have to change. Tip number 2. Listen and repeat. To improve your Russian pronunciation, listen to how Russians speak. Try to copy them by pronouncing sounds as close as possible to what you hear. You can also try to record yourself and listen to how you speak. If it's not close enough, try again. After all, practice is everything. Tip number 3. Make sure to put the correct stress. Word stress in Russian doesn't follow any rules and is probably one of the most challenging things for foreign students. However, pronouncing Russian words with the correct stress is crucial if you want to speak Russian correctly. Pronouncing words with the wrong stress not only spoils the beauty of the language, but also puts you at a risk of being misunderstood, as sometimes changing the stress can completely change the meaning of the word. I know that it might be overwhelming when you think of learning the correct stress of every single Russian word separately, but my advice here would be to focus on the words you use often and learn how to pronounce those correctly. You will later easily build up from there. Tip number 4. Emphasize stressed O's. A very basic rule when it comes to Russian pronunciation, and I believe that you already know this, is that we only pronounce stressed O's as O. Unstressed O's are pronounced as A. So when you need to pronounce a stressed O, really make sure to open your mouth, remember the position of the lips from tip number 1, and clearly emphasize that this is the stressed O in the word. Tip number 5. Pronounce soft consonants soft. A soft consonant is simply a consonant which is followed by a soft vowel, ya, ye, yo, I, or u. Consonants followed by a hard vowel, a, I, o, or u, become hard consonants. Many languages don't have sounds which are identical to Russian soft consonant sounds, so pronouncing these sounds requires putting a little bit more effort to change the position of your organs of speech in order to produce the correct soft sound. Following this tip makes a huge difference in pronunciation. Tip number 6. Learn the exceptions. This one is connected to the previous tip. So we said that if a consonant is followed by a soft vowel, it is pronounced soft, but there are exceptions, like for example in the words модель, флешка, степлер. In these words, the consonants D, L, T are pronounced hard, even though they are followed by a soft vowel. Tip number 7. Pronounce the consonants zh, sh, c hard. These 3 consonants are pronounced hard when they are followed by a soft vowel. For example, like in the words больше. Imagine the air flowing under your tongue. Больше. Жить. Информация. Tip number 8. Roll your R's like a Russian. Most people agree that the most difficult sound to produce in Russian is R, the rolled R sound. I have made a whole video in which I share techniques which help you achieve the rolling R sound. If you're struggling with this sound, make sure to check it out. Tip number 9. Make sure to pronounce letters followed by the soft sign, soft, and don't ignore the hard sign as well. In this video, I explained the difference in pronunciation between the soft sign and the hard sign, so make sure to check it out, of course, after you finish watching this video first. And tip number 10. Ask a native speaker to correct you, of course, if possible. Having someone to correct us is a great opportunity to improve, so if you know any Russian speakers, natives, or people who speak Russian better than you, ask them to correct you every single time you make a mistake, of course, if they are fine with it. You will see a huge improvement in a very short period of time. Last but not least, don't stress out over achieving the perfect Russian accent. As long as you take steps to improve, you're doing great. Remind yourself about it and take the time to celebrate your small improvements. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next week. Всем пока!